Welcome into Postcast Live, part of Locked On Hornets, part of the Locked On Hornets podcast, and part of our Patreon page, patreon.com/LOH. Additional offerings that help us support the show. If you do love Locked On Hornets, if you like the free coverage we're giving you every weekday, consider giving $1, $3, $5, and get some extra bonuses at patreon.com/LOH. I'm Doug Branson. Welcome in. Tough loss for the Charlotte Hornets. They lose to the Memphis Grizzlies 119-117 on a not quite last second bucket by Ja Morant, but he does provide the final blow, a 2-point shot, sneaking it in underneath Cody Zeller. Ja Morant, an excellent game, and he's an excellent player. 30 minutes in this one, 10 of 15 from the field, 23 points for Memphis, and it was just enough to get over the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets fall to 4-7 on the season. The Grizzlies get their fourth win of the season in this one. Tough game, tough way to lose. We'll wait on to get some people in here. Chat with us live on YouTube. You can hit the chat box. Give me your comments, give me your questions. I'll read them here on the live cast. This game was intense. It was intense on both sides. You saw Miles Bridges yell a few times. You saw Rozier have his best game of the season. Devontae Graham was driving. Monk was incredible in this game, and he was playing with a lot of intensity. And then on the other side, the Grizzlies, Ja Morant letting Charlotte know. Ja Morant from the North Carolina area. Ja Morant had a lot to play for tonight, and he was showing it emotional in this game. Guterich, who I think is one of the biggest reasons, maybe apart from Ja Morant, obviously, Guterich, a big reason why the Memphis Grizzlies come away with a win in this one, in a game where they turned the ball over 23 times for 33 Charlotte Hornets points. That's a huge advantage for the Hornets, and they could not seem to take advantage in this game, and a lot of that had to do with what was happening on the defensive end. The Memphis Grizzlies shooting 53% from the field in this game, and a sizzling 48.6% from beyond the arc. They didn't even go to the line very much, only 6 of 9 from the line in this one for the Grizz. But they were just red hot shooting in this game, and you have to give it up to the Grizzlies, and sometimes you have to give it up when a team comes into your house and just shoots the lights out. I thought that the Hornets, there were stretches where they did defend those shots, and they did force some tough misses, and then there were points when the Memphis Grizzlies, they're a fast team, they attack you early, and they were able to get some shots up over the Charlotte Hornets defense that went in, and again, just enough to get this win over the Charlotte Hornets. This is the Locked On Hornets Postcast Live, a part of our Patreon coverage, patreon.com/LOH. Check it out. We've got a new episode of Let the Boys Watch. David Walker and I just having a great time, a little reunion podcast fest as we do talk a little Hornets, we talk NBA, some of the things we're seeing across the league, but really we're there to talk about television, movies, the morning show, Apple TV streaming new service. I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about Disney Plus's new rollout, so check out Let the Boys Watch on patreon.com/LOH. And then if you love sneakers at all, maybe you're an aspiring sneakerhead, you're starting your collection, or maybe you've always had a great sneaker collection and you got to know how to get that next big release. Well, that's where David Walker steps in with his new podcast, The Restock. So check that out when you get a chance. So why did the Hornets lose this game? I mean, obviously, well-executed offense by Ja Morant to answer an amazing knockdown shot by Devontae Graham. I'm going to get to him in depth in a moment because he gets his first start of the season. No Dwayne Bacon in this game. He was out, injury, right knee soreness. He did not play. Devontae Graham gobbles his minutes up, gets the start, 34 minutes in this one, 7 of 19 from the field. No bigger shot than 29 seconds left on the clock. Graham with an amazing ball fake gets his defender woozy a little bit up against the ropes and drills the pull-up jump shot that ties the game at 117. But then, of course, Ja Morant, next possession. I thought they actually defended that last possession by Memphis quite well if you ask me. You had Rozier guarding Morant up top at first. Morant drives right. They had Brandon Clark come up and yell out and try to decoy screen and get Rozier to anticipate that screen and pull him over to the right side and give Morant some driving room. But Rozier, to his credit, doesn't bite. And Cody Martin steps up, and they negotiate a switch. Martin had plenty of room on the switch. It looked like good defense, but Ja Morant, better offense. He was fantastic in this game, making a few spectacular moves, again, in front of probably some of his family. I'm sure he, usually when the big-time players, they come into their city, they'll invite family and friends to come check it out. I'm sure there were plenty of Morant's family and friends there to watch him play, and he put on quite a show. 8 points and 8 assists, I believe, early in this game. I mean, he was a factor from the very beginning. He finishes with 23 points and 11 assists. I believe that's his first double-double of the season. But turnovers all over the place for the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Hornets were able to take advantage. Terry Rozier, one of the most advantages for him because he loves to push the pace. And he was 7 of 12 from the three-point line, 33 points. I believe that ties a career high for him. And he drills 7 threes. His record for threes in a game is 8, so just one under that. But 13 of 21 from the field, 61.9%, 33 points, 6 assists. Does have 5 turnovers, but he adds 5 rebounds and 2 steals. Overall, an amazing game for Terry Rozier. Although I will say this, I thought there was a stretch in the fourth quarter beginning at 5:50. Let's take a step back and talk. Let's take a step back to the third quarter and talk about really what led to the Hornets losing this game. There was a key stretch. The Hornets go on a 10-0 run, 7:06 left in the game. After Ja Morant tied it at 79, Devontae Graham with an and-one drive on Morant. Quick offense after a make. I mean, we've seen it time in and time out. Devontae Graham forcing the issue, forcing defenses to make tough decisions in transition. He does it again there. And then Cody Zeller, bank shot, followed by Cody running the floor for 2 points. He was aggressive in that third quarter. He finished the game with 16 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals to go along with that. Only 1 offensive rebound for Cody Zeller in this game, and it was a putback too. But usually he is a force on the offensive rebounds. But, of course, the one thing that the Grizzlies offer inside defensively is Valanciunas. Clark is an athletic rebounder, so they did not give the Hornets those easy opportunities at the basket. That was one thing they did well defensively in this game. Neither team really showing out defensively. But Cody Zeller running the floor, gets the 2 points, then a Rozier 3 after stellar ball movement where the ball switched sides multiple times. You saw the offense, I think, execute a lot better in this game than they have over the previous couple of losses. If that's one positive takeaway you want to take from this game, is that Terry Rozier playing off ball, knocking down three-point shots. He was playing well for most of this game. Again, there was a stretch in the fourth quarter I'll get to in a moment where I felt like Rozier maybe forced the issue a little bit and really kind of stifled the ability of the offense to put up the necessary fight to win this game. P.J. Washington, quiet offensively in this game, but 2 blocks early, tough defensive rebounds throughout. And then the Grizzlies respond late in the third. Guterich has 11 points in the third quarter, 10 of them during this spectacular run that the Grizzlies have. And there were a couple of possessions. I thought the ball went to Cody Martin in that third quarter in the corner, and the ball just died. Cody Martin turns it over in one possession, gets it to Monk, who turns it over in another possession. Just that's the problem with playing Cody Martin sometimes, is that he's not an effective shooter. He's not a great ball handler. When he's dribbling, that's a problem. Really, the only way that Cody Martin is effective offensively is when he's attacking in transition. And so that was the problem. He was open in the corner. You had to throw it to him. I mean, it seemed designed for it to go to the corner and then just died there and really hurt the offense. So the Hornets 96-94 going into the fourth quarter, again after leading by 12. And here was something interesting. Memphis goes on a 9-0 run to begin the fourth quarter, And Memphis threw their starters out there at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and the Hornets decided to stick with their bench and stay with their rotation. JB making the call there to stay with his rotation despite the fact that the Memphis Grizzlies decided to put their starting unit out there to begin the fourth quarter. And it shocked the Hornets. The Hornets were not able to stay with Ja Morant. Valanciunas got a tip-in bucket. There was offensive rebounding issues because of the size difference between that bench unit of the Hornets and the Memphis Grizzlies starters. And Martin was getting beat on defense as well. Lost Morant backdoor early in that fourth quarter. And then Martin missing his own shot in the corner again. Martin in the corner was not effective in this game. 1 of 5, 0 of 4 from beyond the arc. Misses all 4 threes. Finishes with 6 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 turnover. So then 9-19, the Hornets decide, okay, we're going to get our starters in, I guess. We got to respond. We got to figure this thing out. And that's when you saw 5:15 left in the game. They had Graham, Monk, Rozier, Bridges, Cody. So they're going with that small backcourt, and then you got a little bit of size and athleticism in the front court to help offset that. And Rozier, tough pull-up. Monk had a block on Jaren Jackson Jr., after they played relatively good defense for the fact that they didn't have a lot of size on the floor. Then Monk pushes on the miss to Bridges, who drives, tons of contact. I don't know if you saw that play. Bridges driving. Even the Memphis announcers, I'm here in Nashville, so I was forced to watch the Memphis broadcast. Even the Memphis announcers, when they watched the replay, said that the Charlotte crowd had plenty to complain about on that one. But Rozier was forcing the issue. He was holding onto the ball a lot, dribbling the ball a lot, and forcing up shots that I thought hurt the offense's ability to respond in that moment when they were down 7, 8, 9, 10 points. But finally, Rozier got it going, 2:40 left. He hits a 3. They got some offense going, again down 5 with 52 seconds to go. Monk driving, easy 2. Morant steps out, and then that's when they have the opportunity to tie the game, and Graham hits that incredible shot. So again, Graham's first start in this one. What do you think? What do you think of Graham in the starting role? It's something that I've definitely advocated for. I felt like it would help this offense flow a lot better. You're going to offset things defensively when you do that because of Graham's size, and that's exactly what happened in this game because JB opting to put Terry Rozier on Ja Morant. That's probably the wise decision. Morant, the better offensive player than Dillon Brooks, though Dillon Brooks has been quite a force lately for the Grizzlies. And Dillon Brooks offers a lot more bulk, a lot more size, height on Devontae Graham, but you take that trade-off. You put your better defender on their best offensive player in Ja Morant, and this is a tough situation because their best offensive player is their point guard, and it's not a wing that you can try to put Miles Bridges on. That's not going to work, so you gotta kind of cross-match and figure some things out, and they did the best they could early on. But they went right to Dillon Brooks, attacked that matchup, and they went on a 9-0 run to start the game. Then you saw, and this is a great paint team, by the way, the Memphis Grizzlies. Great at scoring in the paint, and they were doing just that. They were attacking the Hornets inside almost every possession. So then the Hornets respond, I thought, very, very savvy here to go to the junk defense, the 3-2 defense with Biyombo up top in the first quarter. They go to the 3-2 defense, and it does slow the Memphis attack down. Memphis started this game 18 points of the paint to the Hornets 2 points in the paint. So a huge advantage for the Grizzlies inside. And they go to the 3-2 defense, and it really did slow them down. Forced 4 turnovers in the last 7 possessions in that first quarter for the Grizzlies. And you know, I thought it was a great decision to go to the 3-2 defense, but you can see Devontae Graham in there, it does come with some trade-offs, and there are going to be nights. If Devontae Graham continues to be the starting 2, if Dwayne Bacon misses more time or they decide to just stick with this change, you're going to see some trade-offs. And maybe because of the trade-offs that you saw tonight, because you can always close with Graham. You know, Graham's probably in the game with a chance to tie, regardless of whether he starts or not. So JB might look at this situation and go, look, I can't have them just consistently attacking my 2 guard, or however you want to look at it, whoever's playing 2, whoever's playing 1, whatever, one of my guards. I can't have the other team attacking my guard like that. So I got to go with Dwayne Bacon, even though he's struggling offensively. He at least provides me a little size, and Dylan Brooks is not able to drive at will and draw other defenders to him and set up plays for the opposing team's offense and get off to a 9-0 run. Maybe that's going to be his thinking. Or maybe he thinks, wow, Terry Rozier played a lot better in this game, 33 points, and a lot of that due to the fact that they were able to run plays for him off ball, because you can trust Devontae Graham with the ball in his hands. He's a great ball handler. He's great at reading defenses. He's 7th or 8th in the league right now in assists. He only adds 4 in this game. That's kind of low for him. 19 points, 4 assists, but 5 turnovers. He looked shaky in this one, I thought, early on. I thought he settled in after the first half. He seemed a little bit more comfortable in the second half. But you saw a couple of early subs for Devontae Graham, because I just thought maybe it's the fact that, we have to be fair here, he gets the start pretty late in the game, or pretty late in the it was just late because we didn't know whether Dwayne Bacon was going to be able to give it a go. So I don't know, they didn't really practice. This wasn't something that they did by choice. This is a late scratch. So you kind of have to understand that Devontae Graham not looking as comfortable early on. But I thought he did settle in. I thought he did make some great plays there in the second half to help this team climb back in it in the fourth quarter and get in it in the third quarter. I mean, he was part of that 10-0 run that allowed them to get a 12-point lead in the third quarter. PJ knocked down a 3 in this one, but he was quiet offensively, but I thought he got some tough defensive rebounds. This was difficult. This was a guard show tonight. This was Terry Rozier, 33 points, Malik Monk, 20 points. Got to give it up to Malik. I mean, he gets inserted because of Devontae Graham moving up to the starting 2. Now Malik Monk gets the green light as the 6-man scorer. And boy, did he take the green light. And not only did he take the green light, 8 of 13 from the field, yes, 20 points, yes, but 8 rebounds? He's been a great rebounder this season, actually, from the guard position. One of the big surprises in my mind. I didn't see Monk being an effective rebounder. And he's not just getting garbage rebounds. I mean, some of these rebounds, he's getting in there, dusting it up. Some tough rebounds from Malik Monk. I've been impressed with that. He keeps the turnovers down. 1 turnover, that's nice in a game where you had both Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier with 5 turnovers apiece. Malik Monk comes in and provides a little bit of steady ball handling and good decision-making, 20 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. I mean, if not for Rozier's 33, 5, and 6, you got to say that, Malik Monk, player of the game, but then Rozier comes up over the top of him. And then Devontae Graham has the shot to tie the game, almost got this team into overtime. So this was a guard game. This was one where P.J. Washington was going to get a little quiet. He's been quiet over the past couple of games. I don't think that there's anything wrong with him necessarily. It's just the ebbs and flows of rookie NBA basketball when you're not going to get the type of usage that you're seeing out of Ja Morant and P.J. Washington. I think at this stage of their rookie development, Ja Morant is the more talented player. That's why he was taken where he was taken in the draft and why PJ was taken where he was taken. Malik Monk also benefited from the fact that they were playing Kyle Anderson on him, which I thought was a surprise. That bench of Memphis, not full of really athletic, quick defenders. But Kyle Anderson might be the slowest and goofiest of them all on the defensive end. And Malik Monk was just having no problem roasting him, blow-bys galore, making the defense react to him. But the same thing was happening with Guterich on their end, with Ja Morant on their end, Dylan Brooks, again, doing a lot of his dirty work early. Jaren Jackson, 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. Some of those well-defended, really tough threes. Again, you got to give it up to Memphis. 17 made threes in this one. 17 of 35 from the field, 48.6%. Just tough. Just tough way to drop one to the Memphis Grizzlies. 119 to 117. There were some, I'll say, it was an intense game, and you saw the Hornets step up to the challenge. I think that I said it before the game. I think this was a game the Hornets should have come in here at home. You're favored. Probably want to win this game. This feels like one you're supposed to win. The Hornets don't come away with it. They don't have the defense to come away with it. Some of it feels systemic because you saw the effort, you saw the intensity out of this team, and they just couldn't get organized enough in that third quarter. And then there were some really weird substitutions there in the fourth quarter. Memphis going with their starters and the Hornets not responding in kind. You wonder if that's a mistake by JB. If he looks back on that and says, I wish I could have that one back. I wish I could see that earlier and maybe respond in kind to that kind of rotation manipulation. I don't know. But the Hornets get the L and they move on. They've got one more home game before getting back out on the road. But this was a fun one. This was an exciting one, at least, for the fans in attendance, for the few fans in attendance on this one. Two bottom feeders scoring 119 and 117 apiece. A lot of made baskets, a lot of exciting dribble moves in this one. But the Hornets come away with the L. We'll talk about it more in depth on Locked On Hornets tomorrow with Walker Mail, get his thoughts on the first start by Devontae Graham. I thought it was up and down, but I think it's something they should stick with, even when Dwayne Bacon comes back. We'll get his thoughts on Terry Rozier's game. I thought it was great all up until the very end when I felt like those scary Terry demons came roaring back all of a sudden, and he started getting into takeover mode. He accumulated all of those points, and he wanted to win the game so desperately. Felt like it hurt the Hornets a little bit at the end of the game, but I'll put that on. I'll put that on Walker and see what he thinks tomorrow morning. Thanks for supporting the show, Locked On Hornets. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tell somebody. I mean, that's the biggest way our show grows is when you tell someone about our podcast. And then if you're listening for free right now, check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/LOH. A lot of bonuses there. New bonus podcasts that we're doing every week. We have discussion threads. We do ticket giveaways where people on Patreon get double entries. The last ticket giveaway, in fact, went to someone who was a member of the Patreon page. So, every dollar that you give on the Patreon page goes to support the show. And chat with us on YouTube. If you are a Patreon member, hit us up on the voicemail line. Let us know what you think about this game, about Devontae Graham's first start, about Terry Rozier's big game, about Malik Monk's big game, okay? I'm giving it up to Malik Monk, okay? I'm relenting. Malik Monk, he's having a great season. I love his play right now. Nobody can play defense on this team, okay? It would be unfair at this point to criticize Malik Monk. This is the best he's ever going to have it. We got a great question coming up, by the way, on the voicemail line on Malik Monk, on possibly trading Malik Monk. Whoa, hold on. Really? Is that a possibility? Is that something the Hornets should be exploring? I'll talk about it tomorrow. I'll let you know what I think. All right, thanks for listening to the Postcast. Again, Hornets lose 119-117 to the Memphis Grizzlies. I'll see you tomorrow.